This is a no-nonsense review of the Bells of Steel Omni bar. Now, I believe this is the same bar as the Bells of Steel multi-grip bar. I looked on the website and the specs look exactly the same, so I'm gonna assume it's the same bar. I bought this bar on discount about maybe 2 months ago, and there are some QC issues that I want to point out before we begin. Number one is that the T here is missing. In Strength We Trust, there's no T. Do I care? No, I just thought it's kind of funny. Number two, this hook here is bent. They advertise you can use this as a lat pull down bar, but I really wouldn't. So this bent hook, I really don't care. And the third QC issue is on the knurling itself. So there are 6 handles here. And the knurling on this bar is actually really quite good. It's quite aggressive, and I quite like it. Except for this handle. Now this handle, for some reason, the knurling is much more passive compared to the other 6 handles. Now, because this bar is primarily used for pressing, this passive handle, it doesn't really bother me at all. Okay, so here's the actual review other than the knurling, is that this bar is only good for pressing movements. Your shoulder press, your bench press, any kind of pressing, I think this bar is great. If you're looking for something that you can press with a neutral grip, then I think I can recommend this bar 10 out of 10. However, if you want to use this Omni bar for other exercises, I would look elsewhere. If you want to use this bar for bicep curls with a neutral grip, forget about it. If you want to use this bar for tricep extensions or rows with a neutral grip, I would also say forget about it. The reason why is because this bar wants to tilt. I think if I let it go and I give it a slight nudge, it wants to rotate. It wants to maintain a certain position. Now for pressing, when it's just going up and down, it's really not a problem. But if you want to do bicep curls or rows where the bar is moving at an angle, you really need to grip the bar really hard to stop it from rotating. And that gets old really fast. I don't row a ton of weight, I don't bicep curl a ton of weight, but even with the light weight that I use, rowing or bicep curling on this is really challenging on my wrist. I would rather deal with the discomfort, the wrist discomfort of curling or rowing with a straight bar than to deal with the discomfort by rowing or bicep curling on this bar, trying to balance it. So keep that in mind, okay? If you only want to use this bar for pressing, 100% recommend, no problem. If you want to use it for something else, I will look elsewhere. Get an easy curl bar or just row with a straight bar. All right, that's the end of my review. Questions? Leave them in the comments. I forgot to mention one thing. This bar is actually really good for for neutral grip pull-ups. If you can find a way to put your bar on top of your squat rack and stop it from rotating. So over here I have some 3D printed adapters that I made that stops this bar from rotating. If you can figure that out, and if you can put it on top of your rack, then doing neutral grip pull-ups on this bar is actually really quite good. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this knurling, this specific handle, the knurling on this specific handle is more passive than the other handles. So the grip on this specific this specific handle is not as good. But otherwise, doing pull-ups with a neutral grip, really good stuff. So if you can figure this out and store it on top of your rack, then I would also recommend this bar.